If you've ever worked with dry carbon fibre cloth, then I'm sure you will know all about this. It basically just distorts as soon as you touch it. You get fraying at the edges and toes just keep dropping out. And there's absolutely no way that you could ever achieve a crisp, sharp cut edge. Well, in this short video, I'm going to show you a really simple way to make it behave like this. So we have a much more stable fabric, which is easy to handle without distortion. We've got no fraying at the edges and the ability to cut in intricate shapes without it all just falling apart. And this allows you to achieve the arrow straight weave alignment and crisp cut lines, normally only achievable with a pre-preg or a stabilised cloth like Pro Finish. The process is really straightforward. You basically just mist an epoxy over the fabric, which is tacky at first, but as the solvent evaporates out, so does the tackiness, leaving it dry to the touch and practically invisible. But importantly, it's still holding the fabric together and stabilising the cloth. To do this, you'll need to use Fusion Fix EP, which is a completely clear epoxy-based spray adhesive that cures to a tack-free state. And this makes it totally different to just about any other composite spray adhesive, and this includes the GP2. So do make sure that it's this EP version that you use. Always start by unrolling the fabric onto some release film so that it doesn't accidentally stick down to your bench. For a light stabilisation, great for when you just need to maintain the fabric shape during handling, hold the can about 30 centimetres or 12 inches away and apply a light, even mist. For more substantial stabilisation, similar to pre-stabilised fabrics like Pro Finish, simply add a heavier coat of the epoxy. I tend to do 2 passes, the second being perpendicular to the first to ensure that I get an even coverage. Once coated, the fabric should be left for the solvent to evaporate. After about 20 minutes, the adhesive has lost all of its tack, but the fabric is still quite soft and malleable at this point, and so it's a great time to work with it if you still need it to conform and drape on compound curves and shapes. On this first sample, the light coat has had a subtle stabilising effect, making the fabric just that bit easier to handle, but the weave can still be accidentally distorted and cut edges will still fray and come loose, so it wouldn't be enough to allow for crisp cuts and joints. But it is a nice level of stabilisation if you're working with compound curves, and as you can see, it still retains a good amount of the conformability of the dry fabric. For this more heavily coated sample, 20 minutes after application, the fabric is noticeably more stable. This is much easier to handle without getting distortion, and as you can see, cut edges are a lot more stable and less likely to fray or come loose. Although this more heavily coated fabric is really quite robust, at this 20-minute mark before the adhesive is fully dried, it can still move a bit and conform, with a bit of encouragement around our compound dome here. As the adhesive continues to dry, it will get slightly stiffer, so leaving it for several hours can be better if you want a really locked-in weave, ideal for flatter panels or achieving those really sharp cuts and joins. Stabilising though, it isn't always the best option. By binding the fibres together, you will be reducing the drapeability of the cloth, which can make it harder to conform to compound curves. But experiment with it and you'll soon get a sense of when it's best to use it and when it might be better to leave the fabric dry. I hope that you find this trick useful. If you do, or if you've got some tips of your own to share, let me know in the comments below. If you're interested in what might make one fabric more drapable than another, then check out this video where I show our carbon fabrics being woven and explain the purpose of the different weights, weaves and filament counts. From everyone here at Easy Composites, thanks for watching and see you next time.